Welcome back, Storm fans. I am Bryant Cook, and today we're playing Combo Elves. If you've been following the Legacy metagame over the last year, you would have seen this Fiend Artisan, more mid-range Elves deck that almost looks like the Rock or Maverick. Well, we're back to actual factual Combo Elves. Reed Duke did really well in an event, top 8 at a challenge. Some other people picked it up. And then top 8 at Eternal Weekend Asia. And then over this past weekend, Alessio C won the Legacy Challenge with Combo Elves. This is their list. That's what we're playing today. I'm willing to play Elves again because it's more of a combo deck. I'm not going to play Black, Green, the Rock, whatever it was. But this, I'm down. And you may not know this about me, but my origin story, my villain arc, started with playing Elves as a small child with the release of Invasion. I played with my friends. I joined in like an after school magic club. And then I went to my first event where, let's just say, I had a turn 1 engineered plague played against me. And everything went downhill after that, right? So here I am, so many years later, playing Elves once again. Pretty excited. So if you're unfamiliar with this deck, let's say for some reason you've clicked on a random Elves video, this is the first one you've ever seen. So with Combo Elves, you're really looking to abuse Nettle Sentinel to make mana with Birchlore Rangers and then Heritage Druid. This allows you explosive starts. So you're able to generate mana using your elves, and they don't even need to have haste. You can just tap them to make 3 green. Heritage Druid is just so powerful. So from there, you want to use that mana to cast something like a Natural Order, for example, to search your library for a Craterhoof Behemoth and pump up all your elves and attack for lethal. But let's say you don't have enough elves yet. You need to get there. Well, there's Glimpse of Nature to draw cards, or you can Green Sun Zenith for the missing combo piece, or even Grist the Hunger Tide because it counts as a creature within your library, which is a pretty interesting fact about this unique Planeswalker. So that's pretty cool. You can't use the -5 immediately, but there's other value to be had there. So that's always fun. We have some consistency with Once Upon a Time, and then probably the best card for Elves over the last couple of years is Allosaurus Shepherd. This spell can't be countered, your green spells can't be countered, and then it pumps up all of your elves. So essentially the last ability is a giant overrun for your creatures. And that's just been really, really good for this deck. So Elves has really received a lot over the last couple of years, to the point where if you look at Alessio's sideboard, it's really focused. It almost feels like a vintage sideboard where you have Leyline of the Void and Endurance for those graveyard decks for Doomsday. You have Snuff Out for what I presume is like Delver, hitting Murktides and things like that. Mindbreak Trap for fast combo decks, similar thing with Collector Oof, and then a second copy of Beseiju, which is just another really big improvement for those green decks nowadays. But I'm excited to play this. I am not an Elves expert. I would like to throw that out there now. If I make a misplay in this video, bear with me. I am not perfect. This is not a deck I play regularly, but I do have some reps with it in my past. I've recorded Elves probably a handful of times on this channel, but first time in some time. So thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. And I will see you in the first match. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, sideboard guides, early access to videos, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, such as theepicstorm.com/shop, or submitting a donation deck via theepicstorm.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. Match number 1 with Combo Elves. Let's go. Or you could call it Mono Green Storm. Here we have a pretty good hand. I think we're going to keep this. We have a Green Sun and a Glimpse of Nature payoff. Let's go. Opponent with a mulligan to 6. So it's interesting here whether or not you lead on Dryad Arbor or the Wooded Foothills. So if you lead on the Wooded Foothills, we can play Nettle Sentinel on 1, turn 2 Heritage Druid, but then we don't have another mana after that. So I think you're supposed to lead on the Dryad Arbor, and then we'll pass the turn after that. They play an island, Preordain, you've got it. Okay. Take a draw. Another Dryad Arbor. A little bit awkward. So we could play Wooded Foothills, Glimpse of Nature, and then we're kind of stuck. So if we play Arbor, we could actually have a meaningful Glimpse turn next turn. I think we're going to play another Arbor here. I am the creatures. Attack. Take one and like it. You're at 19. Pass. They cast Brainstorm. They use their Bloodstained Mire for an Underground Sea. This looks like Doomsday. They Thoughtseize. They take my Glimpse. Not very kind. We do not have a main deck collector oof for this Green Sun Zenith. Another Nettle Sentinel. Okay, so let's fetch. We can go Nettle Sentinel, Birchlore Rangers. Okay, tap for a green. Nettle Sentinel. Always yes. See if this actually works. So now we can tap both of these. Hold on. Cancel. I should Heritage Druid. Always yes. And now we tap for 3 green. And I think the best thing we can actually do here is just get a Visionary. Because we don't have that main deck collector roof. So we get a Visionary, which will draw a card, and then we can make 3 green again. We hit the Glimpse. Alright, well, less good when we don't have elves in our hand, but we'll pass here. They're at 16. We have some power on the board. I don't know why, but I have a feeling that they're actually on Ad Nauseam Tendrils and not Doomsday. Bloodstained Mire is like a pretty peculiar card for Doomsday to have, because they tend to play blue fetches, which makes me think that this could be Ant, but I might be reading too much into a Bloodstained Mire. Lotus Petal. Rain of Filth. So my hunch was correct. Dark Ritual. Cabal Ritual. They Thoughtseize me. You got it. Got nothing over here. Infernal Tutor. So this is actually... Oh no, this should be a Past in Flames win. If they don't mess it up. Because they get Past in Flames, Dark Ritual, Cabal Ritual, Infernal Tutor, Tendrils. And they do get Past in Flames. Yep. So now they Dark Ritual. And then Cabal Ritual. Infernal Tutor. And now they grab Tendrils of Agony with the 4 mana floating. And that's going to be the ball game. Womp womp. Alright, so we lost game number 1. Not a big deal. Alright, so we definitely want these Mindbreak Traps. We definitely want the Collector Roof. I believe, and I could be wrong here, that we want Leyline, and we probably want some number of Endurance. So we have a lot of cards coming in. We're at 71. It's a lot. So we're going to board out Once Upon a Time. We can get rid of Grist. I think you're supposed to board out Glimpse of Nature. Like, you're not going to outrace the Ant deck, so don't try. And now we're at 63, which is a pretty reasonable number, and we just have to figure out the last few cuts. So, what are those cuts? I wonder if you're allowed to trim down on Nettle Sentinels after boarding out the Glimpse of Natures. Or if that's just, like, insane. This part, I was not given a sideboard guide, so I'm sort of piecing this together now. I wonder if we could also cut a land. Let's try cutting a land. Once again, I am not an expert. This is just me figuring out things as I go. So this hand, I mean, it is an Elves hand. It doesn't actually play Magic, though, is my concern. I think we have to mulligan. And this hand is a pretty big trap. Like, this doesn't... 3 Leyline is just too many. We're going to go to 5. Okay, so this is a hand that is capable of winning a game of Magic the Gathering. We're going to bottom the Shepherd and the Birchlore. Play out a Dryad Arbor, pass the turn. They play a Scalding Tarn and activate for a Volcanic Island into Ponder. They shuffled off Ponder, and it looks like they're passing. We find Wooded Foothills. We really need this Visionary to draw like an Endurance or another Mind Break here. Grab a Bayou so that way they think that we might have access to Thoughtseize, even though we're not playing it. I'll wish Visionary. Triggers. We did not hit the Endurance or Mind Break. So if they have a Thoughtseize into a win, we're dead here. Even if they don't, we can Natural Order next turn, but all it does is get a Crater Hoof and reduce their life total. It doesn't do anything else. I guess we could get like the Collector Oof, but is that really what we want to be doing? And they Thoughtseize me. So I actually wonder if Natural Order is the pick here, and then they just leave me with a Mind Break trap that doesn't do much. They took the Mind Break. Okay. So I wonder if now we get Collector Roof to buy time. So we'll play Cradle, tap Cradle for 2. Natural Order. So it resolves, and we will get the Collector Roof, I think. Like, Crater Hoof is fine, it's just, is that really what this game is about? So it would enter, all of our creatures would get +2/+2 in haste, so I'd be swinging for 10 and putting them to 6. I think the Collector Roof, just buying time, is more meaningful. Get in there. They play a Preordain. One on top, one on the bottom. And it looks like they're just passing the turn. Take a draw. Heritage Druid. We'll play the Druid. They don't know about the Forest. We drew the Forest the turn after. We'll pass. We can also search up the other Dryad Arbor on their end step. They play out a Diamond. Dark Ritual. Cabal Ritual. Cabal Ritual. Okay. Ad Nauseam from 12. Past in Flames. They're taking a long time on this Past in Flames. They flip. They're at 7. 6. 5. 4. They stop at 4. Do you have Tendrils in your hand? They have to have Tendrils in their hand here. Nothing else makes sense. Okay. Yep. You've played a bunch of rituals. I have a Forest in hand. You'll go to 2. They had Burning Wish in hand. Okay. So it's similar to having Tendrils in hand. So that'll do, and we will lose our first match to Ad Nauseam Tendrils. Kind of a bummer. A little bit of an anemic draw on our mulligan to 5, but it happens. Let's just keep our chin up and focus on winning matches 2 through 5. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Round number 2. We have a weird hand here where our payoff is a Grist. Also, our Shepherd doesn't really have anything going on for it. Like, we have no acceleration, I guess. We have no Cradle. We have no Heritage Druid. No Green Sun for the Heritage Druid. We have 2 Nettle Sentinels that could really use a Heritage Druid. I think that this hand is a mulligan despite lands and spells being something we want in Magic. And this just looks so much better. I think we're going to bottom a Natural Order and, you know, play Magic. Wooded Foothills for a Bayou. Oh no, it's the Mirror. I am not capable of winning the Mirror. I am not good enough at Magic for this. Is not good. This is not good at all. We will green some Zenith. Let's go get Dryad Arbor. Pass that turn. Being on the draw here was not good for me. So they can return the Bayou. Okay, they just play Boseiju instead. Draw for turn, we draw Grist. Interesting. So I think step 1. Yeah, I'm just going to play the Visionary. I don't know if you're supposed to play the Quirion Ranger first. We draw a Nettle Sentinel. So now this taps for 2. We can play the Ranger. And then we could pick up the forest and untap this for 2 mana, but that doesn't actually do anything. We'll just play a Nettle Sentinel and pass. Hope that our opponent doesn't kill us. The Elves Mirror. Here at the Epic Storm. This is what the content you came for. Okay. They replayed the Bayou. They have 5 mana. Heritage Druid. 4 mana. For a natural order. Apex Altasaur. It fights when it enters. Oh, it's just going to kill all of my creatures? What? Why are you playing this? This is ridiculous. Oh, wow. I guess that's the Mirror Breaker. What people will play. Oh, can't win. Unreal. They have 2 cards in hand. I guess I'm supposed to get Bayou and cast this Visionary. So we have an answer to the Altasaur. It is the Grist in my hand, but I don't think I'm going to be able to recover. We draw a Glimpse of Nature that is no help. 3 mana for their own copy of Grist. They make a 1/1. I'm not allowed to block the Altasaur. Yeah, I'll take 10 down to 7. You've got it. Draw for turn. It's a Nettle Sentinel. So we can play this. That makes the Cradle tap for 2. Now we can play the Grist and we can kill the Altasaur. Okay. Sacrifice the Visionary. And we have to kill the Altasaur. It stinks because their Grist gets to kill mine. They have Glimpse of Nature. Nettle Sentinel. So they are on combo elves. I thought that maybe with this like wonky natural order target that they were on the more mid-rangey elves list, but I guess that's not true. Between Glimpse of Nature and the Nettle Sentinel. Leaf Crown Visionary. Okay. I've lost this one. Let's just go to game number 2. No need to keep on, taking my hits. So I think we want Snuff Out. I think that's a card we're definitely interested in here. And then we could probably get rid of Once Upon a Time and maybe the Boseiju. Like, I don't think Boseiju does anything, and we don't really want extra lands. Going to try this out. It is nice that the Snuff Out is an answer to that ridiculous natural order target as well. Game number 2. We have Snuff Out, but we don't have the swamp, the Bayou. I want to keep this. I just don't think I'm allowed to. We have to go to 6. Alright, so I could keep this, bottom the Dryad Arbor. I think that's the plan. Alternatively, hold on. What if I keep this and just bottom the Symbiote and then I can keep the Green Sun? To go get like a Visionary or something? Like, is Symbiote even good here? Alright, I think I like that more. I'm sure some Elves expert is going to yell at me over this decision, but I'm the one clicking. Deal with it. We have a turn 1 Arbor. Wooded Foothills. Into Bayou. Thoughtseize. I don't know if I would have known to board in Thoughtseize in the mirror. Take a draw. Glimpse of Nature. Can we use that this turn? So I can go Dryad Arbor. Glimpse. Play Quirion Ranger. Untap the Arbor. So we can use it as like bad divination. I think I'm going to hold here. Maybe that's wrong. I think I'm just going to play the Quirion Ranger and attack with the Arbor and pass. This might give away that I have Glimpse in hand, but I want to be able to potentially do more with it. They play a Heritage Druid. We'll take a draw. Okay. So let's start off by playing Glimpse of Nature. Heritage Druid will auto yield to this. We draw a Green Sun. I don't know if that's good or not. And then we will return a forest to untap the Dryad Arbor. Tap this. We will play the Shepherd. Draw a card. We drew the Huff. Not ideal. So now we will tap 3. We will play the Birchlore Rangers. We drew the other hoof. This deck hates me. Okay. Ah, geez. I guess maybe I was supposed to green sun for Nettle Sentinel before playing the Birch Lore, but I don't know. So I'm going to green sun for 1 here. And I can go get Wirewood Symbiote. And I think that keeps the dream alive for a little bit. So let's untap the Dryad Arbor. Return Quarian Ranger. Play the Quarian Ranger. We drew another Symbiote. Okay. So now I can return or untap the Heritage Druid. Return the Dryad Arbor. So now we make 3 green. We'll play the Wirewood Symbiote. Drew another land. Not ideal. Let's return. I guess this is untap. It doesn't really matter. Oh no! I untapped my Wirewood Symbiote. That might have just cost me. I guess not. I drew nothing this game. Ah, damn. Play the Dryad Arbor. Pass the turn. That was a terrible Glimpse turn. They pick up a Dryad Arbor. They play Glimpse of Nature. Alright, Wirewood Symbiote. They play a Cradle, so that taps for 3. Elvish Visionary. Birchlore Ranger, so now the Heritage Druid makes 3. They still have a Symbiote to use as well. They play another copy of Heritage Druid. Birchlore Rangers. I think that this was just a sign that I was not supposed to play Elves today. Between the first round and this, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just terrible at the deck, but this feels bad. They play a second copy of Glimpse of Nature. Yikes. Interesting that they did not return the Visionary there. Maybe they feel like their constraint is mana this game. They play a Nettle Sentinel. And now, as long as they have 1 more elf in their hand, this should probably get the job done. Another Birchlore. Because every elf replaces itself between the Birchlore and the Nettle Sentinel, and then they can build up towards Heritage Druid. And they're drawing 2 per elf that they play. Like, if I was going to draw all blanks, I could have at least have drawn a Snuff Out, so that way I could play the Bayou and, like, disrupt them somehow. But instead, we drew actual just poop. They play a Green Sun for 1. They pick up another Symbiote. They use a Wirewood. Alright, I'm going to call this. We've lost this game, and our opponent is kind of dirtling here. Like, they have 9 cards in hand. There's no chance that they fizzle. And I don't know. I feel like it's kind of just wasting my time at this point. Even if, like, for some reason, let's say they do fizzle, right? Like, they do fizzle. Oh, even if I untap and draw Gaia's Cradle, maybe if I untap and draw Cradle, there's a chance we stay at a lot or we win. I just don't think this is ever going to happen. Kill me already. Come on. We essentially have 3 copies of Glimpse of Nature with the Leaf Crown. 28 cards left in their deck. 12 cards in hand. They play a Green Sun for 1. Sure, so they can go get another copy of Nettle Sentinel. Or a Wirewood Symbiote. They choose for Symbiote. They use the Symbiote. Okay, so they have a whole bunch of triggers here. Elvish Visionary. Wirewood Symbiote. I don't know. What's their game plan here? So this brings them up to 6. So they are building a mana now. Hey, at least you got to see an elf deck do its thing this video. I guess that's pretty cool. They replay the Allosaurus Shepherd. They return this at 1 point with the Wirewood Symbiote. 17 cards in hand, 21 cards left in deck. Another copy of Nettle Sentinel. They cast Once Upon a Time. For another Leaf Crown Visionary. They finally cast the Crater Hoof. Thank you for putting me out of my misery. Okay, we are 0-2. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Token Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $14.99. This combo token pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens. That includes our classic Storm and mana tokens, as well as fan favorites such as Goblins, Squirrels, and Slime Time Live. But that's not all. We've expanded this token pack to cover a variety of formats with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Let's try it again. We're on the draw for match number 3. We've opened up a Combo Elves hand. We'll keep. I've yet to be able to do the like turn 2 crazy glimpse chains that people always seem to make happen. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not that lucky, but it'd be pretty cool. Ancient Tomb. This looks not good for me. Okay, no Chalice to the Void. Think we're supposed to play a Misty Rainforest and pass. They're on Moonstompy. Fable the Mirrorbreaker. Sure thing. Okay. So we're going to go get our Dryad Arbor here. Untap, take a draw. Another Glimpse. I don't think that I can go all in here. So I can play Glimpse off of Dryad Arbor, play Bayou, Quarian Ranger, return the Bayou to untap the Arbor, and then I can play Heritage Druid, but then I can't get up to 3. So because of that, I think I'm just going to play Visionary this turn and pass. Hopefully don't get punished too badly. Okay. They discard another Fable and an Ancient Tomb. I'm not blocking the Goblin Shaman. You can get your treasure. So with the land drop, they'll have 5 available mana this turn. They play a City of Traders, so 6 mana. Trinisphere, that's brutal. Into Blood Moon. Yikes. That might have been a KO. I think we just play the Heritage Druid. Get in. So they have a reflection of Kiki Jiki now. I will not block. I mean, Shatter Skull smashing me. That's rough. Drew another Dryad Arbor. Unfortunately, it does not tap for mana here. I have to pass the turn. They copy the Goblin Shaman. So now when they attack, they'll create 2 treasure. No blocks, I go to 10. Chalice of the Void on 1. I'm going to call that. So we've lost game number 1 to Moonstompy. Brutal. We definitely want the Boseiju. I don't know about any of these other cards. Like, in theory, Collector Roof stops, like, Chrome Mox, but I don't think that's something we care about. I don't know what I'm supposed to board out here. More lands actually seems good for beating Trinisphere. I think it's going to be like a Once Upon a Time. And none of these other cards do anything. If these Mind Breaks were Thoughtseize, we could board that in on the play, but we just don't have that as an option. Having 1 Crater Huff in hand is super awkward here, but I'm going to keep it. Because we have the Allosaurus to beat Chalice of the Void. We're going to Green Sun for Arbor, so that way we can get to this natural order just a little bit faster. Alright, Dryad Arbor on the battlefield. Pass the turn. Shatter Skull. Chrome Mox. They imprint a Fable this time. 2 mana. Chalice of the Void on 1. We'll draw for turn. It's a Glimpse in Nature. So we'll play the Shepherd. Cannot be countered, so Chalice of the Void does nothing. Let's play Glimpse in Nature. We'll play the Bayou. Play the Wirewood. Draw a card. And now I can return an Elf to untap. And then retap this and draw another card. Okay, we'll pass the turn. And if they have a Fury, I can return the Shepherd to my hand. Den of the Bugbear. Trinisphere pass. Come on. Fable. Okay. Looks like they're passing anyway, so I'll take it. Draw for turn. We'll play the Nettle Sentinel that cannot be countered once again due to our Allosaurus Shepherd. We'll play out the Cradle. Taps for 4. Natural order. Sacrifice the Nettle Sentinel. Go get the other Craterhoof Behemoth. Triggers. Hiya. Get in there. It only took until match 3, but we have our first game win. Let's see if we can get another. Resubmit. Unfortunately, I don't believe that this is a keep. This hand's just kind of stinky. I don't like this. They kept 7 too. I think you're supposed to mulligan this. There's a chance that's a keep. This hand doesn't even play Magic. Am I supposed to go to 4? Or just pray that I rip a land? I'm going to pray that I rip a land. Bottom the Wirewood and the Sentinel. These hands were something else this game. Ancient Tomb. Throw Mox. This is just a turn 1 Trinisphere. I'm going to cry myself to sleep. Yep. Hey, we drew a forest. Pass the turn. They play a mountain. They have 4 mana available into a Goblin Rabblemaster. That's brutal. Ouch. Land number 2. We'll play a Cradle and pass. It's worth noting, if you're someone that's like, why don't you board a Mindbreak Trap so that way you can hit their turn 1 thing? They only played 2 spells. And this is brutal. They only played 2 spells, so Mindbreak Trap wouldn't even hit the Trinisphere. Okay, we drew a land, but even though we have 3 lands in play, we cannot cast anything because the Trinisphere makes things cost 3. This Cradle doesn't tap for a mana, so we have to pass the turn. They play a Fable of the Mirrorbreaker, which is a goblin, by the way. So it matters for Rabblemaster purposes. We're going to take a bunch of damage here, and I'm already dead. This game is not possible for me to win. But we drew the Boseiju. It's just way too late. Our opponent has lethal on board. I'm going to pick it up. The cool thing about Boseiju here, though, is that we could blow up the Trinisphere with only 2 lands. The problem is, we're dead. So it stinks. We still haven't gotten a match win yet, but we got a game win. We're 0-3, 2 matches left. If you're still watching, make sure to give this video a like, comment, and subscribe. While you're near the description, here's a reminder to use our affiliate links if you're going to make a purchase from Amazon, Card Hoarder, or TCG Player. Just above those affiliate links, you'll find our social channels. Make sure to join those to connect with us. After a short break, we're back with match number 4. We're facing Hunding Jorgensen, and if memory serves me correctly, they tend to play a lot of Maverick. Ooh, our only land being Gaia's Cradle. We have to mulligan. Okay, so we have a reasonable hand here. I think I'm actually going to bottom the second copy of Visionary and look to hit a smaller elf with this Once Upon a Time. So let's cast this. We did not hit a smaller elf. I think we take the Cradle. Play Dryad Arbor, pass the turn. They play a Mox Diamond. Discarding Cavern of Souls, Lotus Petal, so it looks like they're on initiative. They play another Cavern of Souls naming Cleric. Anointed Peacekeeper. They name Glimpse of Nature, so Glimpse would cost 3. We'll take a draw. Verdant. Let's play the Forest because they know about it, and then we'll play the Visionary. We draw off the Visionary, and it's Aquarian Ranger. Not a bad one. Another Cavern of Souls. White Plume Adventure. They grab a Plains, and they're attacking. So if I wanted to... Oh no, this has Vigilance. That makes sense. My bad. Alright, so the White Plume Adventure triggers giving their creature... Untapping their creature. Sorry, little out of it. We drew another land. That's kind of a bummer. So I can play the Aquarian Ranger. Do we really want to glimpse it with 1 trigger? I think I'm going to wait. I'm just going to pass the turn. I think we can afford 1 turn of waiting here, hopefully. They choose to scry 2 with Lost Well. They put 2 cards in the bottom. They play a Plains and have 3 cards remaining. Caves of Chaos Adventure. So they will go deeper into the dungeon. the Undercity. They will goad target creature. They attack. I'm not going to block. And it looks like they're passing. We'll go search out the other Dryad Arbor. Okay, now it's time to party. Their White Plume Adventure on taps. Creature. There we go. So 3 mana. Glimpse of Nature. Play the Cradle. Tap the Cradle for 3. We'll play the Heritage Druid. Auto yield to this. We'll draw a card. First Floor Rangers. Draw a card. We drew a Grist. Let's make 3 green. Birchlow Rangers. Draw a Shepherd. Play the Shepherd. Drew the other Grist. Okay. Birchlow Rangers. To a Nettle Sentinel. Let's play the Nettle Sentinel. Drew another land, unfortunately. So I can return a forest to untap a creature. Let's untap the Dryad Arbor. So I can play the Grist here. I just don't know if that's good enough. So we'll make a black. Make a green. Play Grist. Oh, I didn't realize I would draw a card off that. Wow. I guess it says it's a creature everywhere. I just never realized it. Okay, I've used the Quirion Ranger. Let's sacrifice the extra copy of Birchlow Rangers and we'll destroy the Caves of Chaos Adventure. And I cannot use Quirion Ranger because I guess I can. These are forest creatures. Ignore me. Ignore me. Alright, so they're going to venture a little bit further into the Undercity. So they're going to draw an extra card here. They hardcast Once Upon a Time. They find a second copy of Caves of Chaos Adventure. So I believe this will put them into the final room. They're going to Swords My Shepherd. Okay. I don't think I have to block here. We're already past Trap. I mean, if they get me on some 5-life swing that I don't know, you got me. Alright, so they untap their creature. Let's plus Grist. Black. Green. I guess I can play a land. Untap. Play another copy of Grist. Auto yield, yes. Keep the new Grist. Tap for a bunch of mana. We have 8 mana, which is enough to hardcast the Greater Hoof. We'll sacrifice the Insect. And let's take out the Anointed Peacekeeper. Greater Hoof Behemoth. Our creatures are large and in charge. Ooh, okay. Misplay here. Or maybe I can still do it. No, I missed it. I should have untapped the Dryad Arbor. That's a mistake on my part. Okay. Initiative. We probably want the Snuff Outs here. Get rid of Once Upon a Time. I don't know what the last one is. What is the last cut? I don't think you're allowed to board out Allosaurus Shepherd in any matchup. So they are a Chalice deck, but also like just the overrun is too good. Am I allowed to board out 1 Nettle Sentinel? I don't think so. And I don't know if I'm allowed to go down a land. I'm going to board out a Visionary, and hear me out. It might seem a little bit wonky, but I think this matchup isn't necessarily about just like going over them with like comboing out a large amount. Like you're not looking to turn 2 combo win. So maybe you can get away with having 1 less Visionary. And I'm going to try this. City of Traders. Chalice of the Void. Yep, there it is. We do not have an Allosaurus, but we could get one if I draw another land. Ding dong. We drew the creature we wanted. They Solitude my Dryad Arbor. Okay. I'm good with that. They Solitude pitched swords. Like, that is a good interaction for me. They play Caracas. Archon. What? Let's play our Bayou. We can still win this. We have Snuff Out in our deck. I have Grist in my hand. This is still very manageable. So they're going to attack for 2. We're at 19. We will now Green Sun for 1 to go get the Shepherd. Okay, we are casting spells. They just pass. That's weird. We'll play a Cradle. And then I want to be able to protect this Shepherd. So I'm going to play out Wirewood here, because if this gets killed, I'm in a really tough spot. And on our next turn, I can play Grist and kill the Archon. No blocks, you've got it. So maybe they just accidentally missed their attack last turn, I'm not sure. So we'll tap this for black, 3 mana, play a Grist. And then we will kill the Archon, play a land. Let's go search out another Bayou. Or should I actually get the Dryad Arbor? No, I'm going to get Bayou. We'll play another Wirewood. And then Birch Lore. And we've won a match. Yes, it only took until match number 4, playing a super efficient Broken Legacy combo deck, but we got there. We got our match win. I'm pretty happy right now. Let's see if we could actually win match number 5 and get half my entry fee back. I would greatly appreciate that. So stick around and watch match number 5. With Card Hoarder, renting your favorite combo deck has never been easier. There isn't a more affordable solution for Magic Online. Want to play the deck in this video? Check out the pinned comment below to easily rent the deck from Card Hoarder. Did you know you can rent the Epic Storm from Card Hoarder for as little as 7 tickets a week? We've made it simple to do so by including a button to rent the entire deck at theepicstorm.com/decklist. The 5th and final round, we are on Elves, and let's see if we can get half our play points back, I guess. I'll keep this on the draw. We have turn 1 land, Zenith for Arbor, trying to ramp into natural order. And we are facing the boogeyman of the format, Izzet Delver. We just faced Initiative, which is arguably the second best deck in the format. And now we are facing the best deck. So they're going to bobble us. Okay. We see a Heritage Druid. Let's Green Suns. X is equal to 0, so this would get Dryad Arbor, and it does. We'll pass the turn. Opponent casts a Ponder, they get their Surveil trigger first. They mill over Expressive Iteration, so they have Artifact, Sorcery, and Graveyard, looking for land, instant, or creature to become delirious. There's land. And they attack. No blocks. Okay, so we drew a Wirewood, which is okay. Let's play out our Wooded Foothills and Elvish Visionary. Triggers. Glimpse of Nature. Am I being stifled? Wow. Okay, you got me. I have in fact been stifled. Okay. Pass the turn. Basic Island. Now they attack for 3. So they have 4 cards remaining in hand. Delver Secrets, 3 cards left, and they pass. Another natural order. I'm going to play this Glimpse. It resolves. Let's play the Nettle Sentinel. We'll draw 1 card. Holding this land in case I draw Cradle, and I do. Would have been playing in a daze there, but the upside of hitting Cradle was so high I felt like I couldn't turn it down. Heritage Druid. We find Ranger. Let's tap for some green mana. Let's play Wirewood Symbiote. So we'll draw a card. The Nettle Sentinel will untap. We found the Allosaurus Shepherd. Okay. Another Glimpse of Nature. I'm going to cast it. I am the combo deck. Kyrian Ranger. We'll draw 2. Hell yeah. We are getting to do the full combo. So now we'll use Heritage Druid to make 3 green. Play another Wirewood. We still have 2 Wirewood triggers we can use. 2 lands off the top. Not great. Let's use the Kyrian Ranger. We'll untap Elvish Visionary. Return the Bayou. Okay. And then we will untap the Heritage Druid and return Quirion Ranger. Make 3 green. Replay the Ranger. So now we draw 2. Now we'll play another Nettle Sentinel. And this just became very good with our Heritage Druid because now every spell replaces itself almost. So we'll use the Druid. This is a blast. Alright, we'll play the Visionary. We'll draw 3. Look at his go. Okay. Draw a card. We'll use the Heritage Druid again to make 3. We're up to 8. Play out the Wirewood. So we're at 7 mana now. Okay, Wirewood will enter. Let's play another Heritage Druid, I guess. We don't have 3 untapped elves. We only have 2 at the moment. I'm starting to think about how we're going to win with this Crater Hoof. And we need to be able to untap those creatures over here. So let's make some more green mana. Play another Shepherd. So this is me being cautious right now. But by playing another Shepherd, we are making sure that if they had Bolt Force of Will in their hand, that we don't lose when we play the Crater Hoof. So the Shepherd will enter. And now let's use these to... Oh, hold on. Untap the Dryad Arbor, return the Visionary. Untap the Visionary, return the Ranger. Let's make 3 green. And I will cast a Crater Hoof. We did it! Thank you for using your Stifle on a fetch land. Alright, game number 2. Here's the thing that I don't know about this matchup. So I've been told that we want Snuff out for like Murktide region and stuff. But do we want Endurance to bully them? Or am I supposed to stay on the I'm a green combo deck plan? I'm not really sure. I think that we might want the Endurance, board out the Once Upon a Times, and then we're 4 over. I'm just not really sure how to sideboard with this deck, unfortunately. Every card here seems so vital. Am I supposed to just not bring in Endurance when I'm the combo build of the deck? That might be the plan. And I think we want the Visionary versus a blue deck. I'm going to try to go down a Nettle Sentinel. Let's submit this. I mean, I don't even consider myself an Elves player, but an actual Elves player would have a dedicated plan for this matchup. As someone who's just picking up and playing the deck, I don't really have a strong sense of what I'm doing. So take what I'm doing with a grain of salt. This is really just me showcasing elves in the format rather than an expert's guide. So this is, if you're new to the deck, you would be similar to how I feel right now, where I'm kind of just piecing things together, but I'm definitely not an expert. I'm going to keep this and hate myself. We have a 1-lander that can be hit by Wasteland. I don't know. This is just so risky. Turn 1 Channeler. They took a mulligan. Draw for turn. Wirewood. Let's play the Beseiju. And then play Allosaurus. This plays through Daze. So if they had a Daze, they could not counter my spell here. I will not block. I will gladly take 1 going down to 19. They play an island, so no Wasteland. Ranger, which doesn't work with my Beseiju. I don't know if there's a downside to me attacking here, so I'm going to swing. Like, Izzet Delver doesn't play flash creatures, so let's play the Nettle Sentinel. Pass the turn. They cast Lightning Bolt, targeting the Shepherd. They surveil away a volcanic island. So now Daze is a live card for them once again. Another Channeler. Brainstorm with double Surveil. They mill away a Scalding Tarn. And they do not attack. Let's play a Birchlore. They have 3 in hand, really looking to fade a Daze. They force a Will Birchlore. Okay. They mill another Force. They have 1 card in hand. They mill another Misty. Those 2 were both cards they put back on Brainstorm. I'm going to attack. They don't have Delirium. If they want to trade their 2 creatures for my Nettle Sentinel, we consider that a win. Ooh, that hurts. So they still have 1 card in hand. Take a draw. We have to pass. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Stifle, because what else wouldn't they be casting to trigger Channeler here? Take a draw. Dryad Arbor, welcome. Pass the turn. Another Wasteland, that's brutal. That could have been a card they were holding in their hand. Submerge! That would also make sense. Just devastating here. Okay, I'm gonna call it. Yeah, they got me there. That was tough. Let's try this again. On the play. Keep. Going to get a basic forest. And Elsaur Shepherd. Pass. Volcanic Island. Into Channeler. Draw for turn. Nettle Scent. That was actually very good. So we'll play Birch Lures. Tap these for green. Hold on. Is that actually the play I want to make here? No, I think I want to play Quirion Ranger. Because if I play the Nettle Sentinel now, it doesn't actually achieve anything. So let's untap the Shepherd, returning the forest. So I could play Visionary here. Or I can play Sentinel plus Heritage Druid and then pass. I think I should probably just play the Visionary. Let's make a green. Trigger, draw a card. We find Grist the Hunger Tide. Land number 2. They just pass. Natural Order. Nettle Sentinel. Make a green. Heritage Druid. We'll say always yes and then auto yield. Let's untap the Visionary, returning the forest. So I can Natural Order here. My fear is if they have a Bolt into Force. But I don't know if that's reasonable. They could also have Stifle, as I mentioned. Let's make 3 green. I'm just going to play the Natural Order, I think. Let's get rid of the Visionary. Natural Order. Hoof. This is where you cast your Stifle. Oh, they just had nothing? And we got half our play points back. Look at that. Okay, so they kept a hand of just counter spells, I guess. Well, I'm not going to pretend to give this deck list any feedback because I'm not an expert. That said, the mind breaks in the league that we played were not great. The only combo deck we faced was Ant, and they were well prepared with a bunch of discard spells. So Mindbreak Trap not at its best. We could have boarded in Thoughtseize in the mirror like our opponent did if we had them, but because we were on Mindbreak Trap, we couldn't. But I'm sure Alessio C knows what they were doing. I mean, they won a Legacy Challenge with this deck list, and I'm just sort of a novice. So trust the experts. Don't listen to me or anything I said in this video. It's probably not very helpful. But I appreciate everyone watching. Hopefully you got a taste of Combo Elves and Legacy and had some fun along the way. Have a great day. Keep storming. All that good stuff. Hey, Bryant Cook here. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe, but also follow the social media channels down below. If you want to support this content directly, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/shop. And if you need a little bit of assistance with the Epic Storm to get to that next level, I would recommend going to theepicstorm.com/tutoring. Don't worry, there's more great content coming right up.